This is the golden rule. Let's talk about it. We don't gotta walk around it. Your Bluetooth, the new tennis shoe. We finding new balance. Faith, family, and talents. How we find God around it. Each y'all got the ox now. This your favorite channel. What we on Faith Talk? This a good space to talk. We gon' cross every road if we got a jaywalk. What we on sports now? No, this ain't Sports Center, but ever since Acot, the boy had the sport in him. Man of the house now. What we talking family ties? My dogs won't talk to me. Surely I'm a family guy. You can bring the conversation to me, get it analyzed. Men lie, women lie, the truth should be baptized. Whatever you put into this world is what you getting back. So while you listen in your car, try and sit with that. While you listen in the gym, try and lift the mat. This is Podcast and Pool. Welcome to the Golden Rule. It's golden, baby.
Man, what's happening? It's your boy E. Shaw, man. This episode 7 right here, and I'm so elated. I'm happy to present this episode to y'all, man, because I did a poll, and it was a few people, man, that reached out to me and was like, hey, how do I, I want to become an entrepreneur, but I don't really know how to do it. I'm kind of afraid to start it. I ain't got the funds or whatever the case may be. So, guys, today I'm going to give everybody what they've been asking for, and I got some of my esteemed gentlemen with me, man. So this is the Golden Rule Podcast, fellas. Y'all, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. Y'all know my name is Eddie Shaw. And I got with me today a couple of people, man, that are near and dear to me. They got a wealth of knowledge, wealth of experience in this area that we're going to talk about today, fellas. So we're going to jump right into it, man. Hope everybody's doing okay. I appreciate everybody who's tuning in with us. I appreciate all y'all, man. We're about to have some fun, very informative discussion here that we're about to have. So I appreciate everybody for joining. All right. We're going to get right into it, man. Without further ado, let me bring these gentlemen in here. All right. Now, I'm going to go down the line. All right. Now, the first person I'm going to present to y'all, he's been on here before. We actually had an episode on here with him. And we go like ultra way back from when I was a kid. Right. So he's the owner of Prestige Barber College in Greensboro, North Carolina. He's also the owner of Gents by Prestige and the Urban Renaissance by Prestige Barbershops. He does countless things in the community of Greensboro, man. He's coached kids, mentor. He has a lot of titles. Man. But without further ado, man, he has a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of information that he's going to present with us today. So without further ado, man, let me add Gene Blackman to the show, man. What's happening, my guy?
What's going on, man?
All right, man. I'm doing good, man. It's good to see you again, man. Good to have you back on here.
Hey, man, I'm honored to be back on here, man, and it's always great to see you, bro.
My man. First of all, congratulations is due to you and your wife, man. I'm happy for you, and I can finally say for the first time in my life that I beat you at something.
Simple facts. For the first time, you're right about that.
Nah, man, but I'm so happy for you, man. How the kids doing, brother? How the baby doing?
Man, my son, he's 14. He's doing his thing at Mendenhall in his 8th grade school year.
Okay.
And just, training for football and all that good stuff, man. And my daughter, she's happily married in Fayetteville, 27 years old. And, I have a grandbaby that's 4 months.
Oh yeah. So you a vet in the game. You a vet in the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Did I hope I ain't missed nothing in that intro, man. Like I say, you had an episode with me last time, so a lot of people can go back to that. But man, you got a lot of hats, man. You've been doing this for a while. So when I thought about this episode, of course you came in mind. I know you're gonna give the people a lot of information on how this thing works as far as being an entrepreneur, man. So man, I'm glad to have you, brother. I appreciate you for even taking the time to come, man. And for those who don't know,
go ahead. I'm sorry, but like I said, I'm glad to be here, man. And that's the one thing about entrepreneurship, man. You said I wear many hats, but entrepreneurship has allowed me the platform to do so and the freedom to do, a lot of different things in our community, man. So, that's why entrepreneurship is definitely, very big and important, man, to be able to do that. So, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. No question. And all these people, by the way, y'all, that I'm having on, I have ties. I have some deep ties to them, specifically Gene. Man, this guy coach. Yeah, like I said, y'all seen the last episode that we and him did. I've been on this.
Well, I coached you. I had to fight with you. All that, bro.
Right. So he know what type of athlete I am. Him and B4 know what type of athlete.
Listen, and look, and just to see, the type of man you developed into today is just crazy, man.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Because a lot of people would have looked at you, and some did, I'm sure. And how you were as a young kid, man, and like, nah, man, he gonna be dead or in jail.
Right.
You know what I mean? But nah, man, I saw something in you, bro, and I'm extremely proud to see what type of man you've developed into.
Man, well, I definitely appreciate that, Gene. I really do, man.
Yeah.
We gonna touch base with Gene here. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce the next guest we got going on here. The next guy, I've been knowing this cat for over 25 years, really and truly. Been knowing him for a minute. He's the owner of Oak and Ave Property Group, based out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. Siege has built a unique process of real estate transactions and the development of 30 affordable homes within the past 3 years. In 2019, he won the Spartanburg Young Professionals Entrepreneur of the Year Award. And in 2023, he won the Spartanburg County Impact Award winner and Spartanburg County BEC Black Business of the Year recipient. So
Nice.
Without further ado, man, I want to introduce my friend, Christopher Siege Jefferson, man. And if y'all don't know, he made the intro that y'all heard, man. Without further ado, my boy Chris Siege, what's happening, my boy?
What's up, my brother? How you, man?
I'm doing good, brother, man. I'm so glad to have you on here. I'm glad.
Oh man, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, man. I know. Again, you got a wealth of knowledge, and I actually, I got to actually see your business into fruition, bro. So, very unique perspective of mine. And you also inspired me as well, man. I remember that conversation we had in your office.
Yep.
Kind of inspired me to go ahead and jump, man. Take that leap and jump. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and you're doing it. This is the fruits of it. You know, we get to enjoy the sweetness of it with you and being a part of it. So no, man, it says a lot. You know, you reached out to your folks and see what they want, and now you get to provide a platform. And that's what you wanted to do, man. And you're doing it. So proud of you, broski. Glad to be here.
Man, I appreciate you, bro. How everybody going? How the family doing, man? Girls, Amber,
everybody's good, man. I got a freshman at Clemson in business school right now. She's killing it. She just made the dean's list. I got a freshman in high school. She's killing it. She'll probably go to whatever college she wants in the country at this rate. And my wife is in nursing school right now, so everybody's in school. So we good.
Bro, like again, I've been knowing Siege. I'm sorry, I've been knowing Siege for I don't know since we was 12, I guess 12, 13.
Yeah.
And first of all, the fact that you even have a kid in college is
right.
Is crazy.
Right.
But she actually goes to the same college you went to. That's even crazy. You know
man, on her first day, well, when we took her to school for the first day, official day, we got to show her where me and her mom met at. That's crazy, right?
Man,
so she across the street in a dorm right now, so it's mind blowing.
It's a blessing, man. And I'm glad to have you. I know you got a lot of information for these folks, man. So I'm glad to have you, bro. And last but not least, man. Sometimes I keep the best for last. No, I'm just this guy right here, man. I've been knowing B4 for almost 10 years now. He's a heck of an athlete. And I'm not even giving him his justice by saying that, but he is a heck of an athlete. North Rowan High School alumni. He holds an associate and bachelor's degree. He wears a lot. This guy wears a lot of hats too, from being a husband to a father. He works in finance. Obviously, he's an entrepreneur. He is a former pro athlete and a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. He also hosts, and he's the proprietor of his own podcast, Members Only. And you can follow B4, Brandon Ford at _King_Ford and Members Only with a Z _podcast on IG. Like I said, this guy literally helped me start this business, man. So I owe gratitude to him, man. And this is a guy I can go to and lean on for advice. So without further ado, Brandon Ford Sr. B4, what's happening, my guy?
And what up, my boy?
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Ain't nothing much, man. Ain't nothing much, man.
Hey, man, first of all, bro, I want to thank you for even having me on here, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've only been asked to be on by 2 podcasts so far. I've pretty much been the host every single time. So
Come on, man.
It's good to be in this seat, bro. I ain't gotta orchestrate nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just vibing out, bro. And the other 2 guys on here, man. Hey, it's good to meet y'all.
You as well.
Likewise, bro.
I'm not quite as tenured as y'all. The resume, it run deep, you know what I'm saying? But it's definitely a pleasure to be on the panel with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like especially with us having at least one thing in common, and that's us being, well, a few things. There's all us black men, obviously.
Yeah.
And we also all have entrepreneur background in some shape or form. And yeah, we all are fathers also, you know what I'm saying? From what I heard anyway, all y'all have kids also, a family. So it's always good. So but yeah, man, Eddie, you doing, like they said, man, you doing real good with this thing, man. The whole setup, the whole presentation,
man.
I feel like that's the biggest part of it. You know what I'm saying? That's because a lot of people jump into this thing wanting to be rich or whatever, but you got to really do this because you're passionate about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Your presentation showed me, everybody watching, and everybody on this panel that you care about your craft, because you know what I mean, even from the, you know what I mean, what you got in the background, like behind you, like just small stuff like that, bro. It just show us that you care about what you're doing. And as long as you care about it, bro, it's gonna do what it need to do.
Absolutely.
Man, I appreciate that, man. Real quick before we start, so when I thought about starting this, of course, before it was like, look, man, this is what you gotta do. You gotta get the equipment, bro. He actually came to the crib, checked out my equipment. He was like, yeah, you straight, bro. You got everything you need. So my very first episode on here, y'all can go back and look at it, bro. I had like the setup that y'all see right here. I had none of that, right? None of that. Matter of fact, I wasn't even ready to broadcast. Before it was like, before, come on, man, we're gonna do an episode. He was like, yeah, you broadcasting, right? I was like, what? I wasn't ready, bro. I was nervous. I was like, nah, I thought you was broadcasting. Nah, bro. Go ahead and broadcast. Like, go ahead. Had nothing, but I knew that I had me. I had my character, and I knew he wasn't gonna let me just, get on there looking all crazy, man. So shout out to B4, man, because I'm telling you, he really, like, him and my wife pushed me. I was like, I'm not doing it. I don't have the resources. I ain't got nothing. B4 was like, dog, do it, bro.
Bro, because you waiting for perfection, bro. Ain't no such thing.
Right on, man. So yeah. I appreciate you, man. I know you got a wealth of information when it comes to this entrepreneurship. And also, guys, he said something key. We have, especially in the Black community, man. I really want to touch on that with the folks on that's watching and the folks out there. Because, like I said, I got a lot of people who have been asking me, man, like, man, how do you start your business? Or what do I got to do to start my business? And I know we're gonna expound and touch upon that. So let's get right to it. Man. What I'm gonna do is, I got a series of questions that I'm gonna ask each of y'all, and I basically, man, I don't want you guys to hold anything back as far as the information that you're putting out there, because again, we got people that really want to know. Are some people are afraid. Some people have no clue as to what resources and means you need to start your business. So, I'm gonna start with you, Chris. Give us a rundown of Oaken Ave property, man, and kind of let us know exactly what it is that you do. And, kind of give us some details on that.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep it brief, man. We're a real estate brokerage and development firm. We build affordable homes and we do all real estate transactions. Have 6 agents on the team with me. My wife is a full-time administrative director, so she works with me full-time as well. Been in it full-time for 3 years now. Again, we've closed over 100 transactions. We've built over 30 homes, and man, I say that with the spirit of, I never could have even imagined that this is what I would be doing even up to 3 years ago. So just briefly, I was working in the school systems. I was working in finance, doing real well in finance.
Right.
Long story short, with my influence in music, etc., I started working in the schools. When I got a call from the principal saying, "Hey, we need you here with your influence," I did that. I took a 60% pay decrease, which was the dumbest thing seemingly I could have ever done. To go work in the schools, and I did it But I tell people all the time, man, I was able to buy time. You know, time was expensive, and I made a deal. I leveraged it and said, hey, look, I'll be here. I'll do great at my job, but you know, I need to be flexible, and they allowed me to do that. I won support staff for the year, my first year, but I also built my business, and then COVID happened. I remember COVID, and that happened while I was in the school. So of course, we wasn't in school, but I was, you know, still getting paid a little bit I was getting. So I was like, man, I can take this, leverage it, and build my own business. You know, I was working in truancy. So a big part of my job in truancy was to see why kids weren't coming to school, you know? And while I was doing that, I would go to their houses and I would say, man, every time I would go to the house, I would start seeing the environments they lived in. I'm in a 90% poverty school, you know, all minority school. So I start seeing the environment and I'm like, man, we got to start figuring out how to impact holistically where they live because it's tied to education. I would say, hey, we can't suspend this kid no more. You know what I'm saying? We got to do anything except send him home anymore. And in that, I started realizing, man, maybe I can start affecting them holistically. So to finish this, my pastor is my general contractor. We were just riding together one day and I seen houses he was building. I was like, man, I wonder if I could build these houses for the people that you know what I'm saying, in my community, etc. And that's how I got into it. I remember he reached in the trunk and he was like, hey, he told me to go to the trunk. He said, there's a blueprint back there. Learn how to read it. And I learned how to read that. And I took that thing serious, man. And from there, during COVID, I got my real estate license, launched the program, and the rest is history, you know. And now here we are, 3 years later, really doing some strong development within our community and making a big impact. You know, and that's just a brief. I know we'll dive more in later, but that's how it got started.
Yeah, absolutely. And bro, let me tell you. So when my son was born, Trey was born, I remember coming up to you. Had just gotten in the office, and you was explaining that story to me, and I thought it was mind blowing. I was like, bro, I first of all, I couldn't even believe that I was in your a brokerage firm that you have built. Like I wouldn't have imagined you. You know what I mean? Like dealing with homes, but when you told me that, bro, I was like, you literally learned how to read the blueprints. You know what I'm saying? Like in somebody's trunk. And that's what inspired you. That was crazy to me, bro. Like for those who don't know, and there are a lot of people who really don't know the difference between a brokerage and like somebody who was into real estate, like a real estate agent. What is the difference between a brokerage and somebody who's just in real estate?
Yeah, so in actuality, a real estate agent works for a brokerage. So a real estate agent themselves can never represent a client. So most people think that. You think, hey, I'm a client, I represent Eddie. You can't represent Eddie. You can only represent the brokerage, and the broker in charge represents Eddie. So if I work for Oak Ave or Keller Williams, I throw that out there because everybody knows that name. That client belongs to Keller Williams or Oak Ave. And then so an agent, I'll put it like this. An agent is a position coach, right? A position coach can never be the head coach of their own team. You know, it's their receivers, it's their quarterback, whatever position they play, but they're all under the head coach who will be the broker in charge. So that's how it works. And now that differs from state to state with terms because it's a little different North Carolina, South Carolina, but that's how a real estate agent and a brokerage works inside a firm. So it's the real estate agent, brokerage is the team that you play for, and the broker in charge of the head coach.
Okay. So what made you develop a brokerage firm and not want to be a real estate agent?
And
or were you a real estate agent?
Yeah, so I'm a real estate agent as well and own the brokerage. So it's different, right? It's like, so I own the business Oak Ave, which is the brokerage, but I'm an agent and we hired a broker in charge. So I don't have the responsibility of being broker in charge, even though I own the company. That way I can focus more on development because I focus more on finding deals, finding houses, flipping houses, going through the whole development phases of new construction, getting access to capital, loans, all that. I delve in that. A broker in charge deals with the agents themselves. And so, and I'll say this briefly, that was unique because when I started as a real estate agent, again, you got to find a coach to play for, right? So the Blue Realty and Associates, shout out to Tracy Blue, I was part of her team. So you can have your own team as an agent, right? And I was in Spartanburg, she was in Greenville, but it got to the point where I was doing so well. So my life changed in about 6 months. I got my license. created a system, a CRM system, customer relations management system, where I could hold. And I was like, if I had 1,000 clients, could I work with all of them right now? That's how I thought about business. So I created a whole system, like a management system that I could put clients in, follow up with them and all that stuff. But I did so well when I launched my program, you know, I closed like 30 something homes my first year, right? Within a 6 month period. I didn't do anything my first 6 months. Next 6 months, I closed like 30 homes. It was crazy. Right. And in doing that, we got to the point where she was like, hey, I'll partner with you on the actual development firm, and I'll hold my hat as the broker in charge, because initially she was, if we can do this thing together. So we call ourselves KLC Taco Bell. You know, you always see one with the other. They brand different, but they really under the same umbrella though. And that's how we look at it.
I got you. Okay. Real quick, I'm gonna move to before it. But before I do that, I want to touch with you, Chris, on what the actual resources that you had. So I guess the question I'm trying to ask is, you started off as a real estate agent. I guess the main resource that you had to get was your real estate license.
Right.
Then once you got the real estate license, you said the first 6 months you did nothing. The next 6 months you closed on 30 plus homes. With that, gave you the idea, and it gave you the confidence, I can really do this. Let's take it a step further. Now I can partner with Ms. Blue.
Yeah.
And that's basically, under her, you learn, all right, if I get this brokerage firm, okay, now I can focus on the development side of things, where I can start developing affordable income housing for people who may not be able to afford those. Is that kind of how it worked?
Yeah, but I'll say this though, and when you talk about, like, you know, entrepreneurs and what it takes to start, et cetera, but I failed to say I didn't do anything in my first 6 years, but I had the plan. I mean, 6 months, but I had the plan in place. So, for instance, when I got my license, the first 2 months I spent creating the system in order to be able to be you can't do hundreds of clients at one time, because that was my mindset. Then I created a whole system of how I was going to be a broker. So, you know, I'm from a family of hustlers, right? And you know, dope dealers and locked up and this and that, and my pops and all that. So for me, I was the same way when I was in school, when I was in college. You know what I mean? I was the dope boy in college. And so I always knew how to, like, this is my favorite word, galvanize people and figure out how to make money, and like how to get and I had this thing where you couldn't, I'm just talking real, you know, you couldn't come and buy a dime and nicks from me. That ain't how I roll. You know, you had about an ounce. That was it. And so I dealt with 20 people versus 200. You know what I'm saying? I got you. I took that same mindset of like, nah, how can we do real estate to where I'm not begging for clients, but instead we can get a lot at one time, you know? Right. And so I had a programmatic approach to doing real estate. And in doing that, though, to that point, to your question, I created a system first, and I solved that problem. So it seemed as if I wasn't doing anything for the first 6 months, but I had already created the wheel, if you will. Gotcha. You know. Gotcha. And so whenever the only reason I was able to close that many deals at one time is because when they started rolling in, I had a whole system prepared for them, where others may not have. You know what I'm saying? And that was the difference for me. And that's how I still operate. So people come to our brokerage entering a program versus just coming out looking for an agent to client relationship. And that helped me make a bigger impact. And I'll tell you later about how that came about.
Very unique, systematic approach to your business, man. And I knew, like you say, man, that takes a lot of cerebral ability up there, man. I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna just say it like that.
I ain't gonna lie, like the way he put it together is really like, it's crazy, bro, because I can tell he's like, yeah, the hustling side of it, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the other side of it, which he knows, because I'm pretty sure he done been in sales before also. Man, the way he put it together is basic business sales, B2B business. Like
That's right. Exactly.
And he, for that 6 months, bro, he really just Not only CRM, like I'm here with you, CRM, like not only that, bro, he created like a pipeline, bro. So while everybody else selling at that time, he building a pipeline. That's the reason why after them 6 months, everything started dropping for him. He probably was getting deals in month 9 that he probably worked on in month 2. You know what I'm saying? Because he just
Y'all ain't listening to before because he on
you know what I'm
point.
saying? Like
He on point.
that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, he building that pipeline. So yeah, it looked like he wasn't working 6 months, but bro, probably in year 2, he probably was closing deals from something he put in a seed he planted in month 3, or a referral from month 4. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just
Exactly.
created the pipeline, bro. And like he said, bro, you got this tight knit group. Instead of trying to stretch yourself too thin with 1,000 people, he just got a small little core, and he just following up, closing and following up, and referrals and following up, and it's just kind of like he done built that little nucleus. Like he got his pipeline set up. Like he said, you put it in sports terms, bro. Like you a college recruit, you got your pipeline, you running through North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. You ain't worried about Texas. You ain't worried about Cali. I might have just killed these 3 states right here, and we're gonna build it from here. You know what I'm saying? And now this kid, he done graduated. Now his little brother coming through, and his son coming through, so on and so on. So I mean, I'm with you, bro. Like I'm right here.
I just want to say, bro, like that's when I say exactly. I'll say this last part because I went to Wendy's and it changed my life. That's whenever I just figured out what I was gonna do next in life. I went to Wendy's and I got the 4 for $4. But at the time, remember the 4 for $4 was 99 cents. Y'all remember all the items was 99 cents on it.
Thanks.
Anyway. So you could get a 5, 6, 7, 8 for 8. You can get whatever you want. But it's genius that Wendy and her people sat at the table and said, hey, I bet you I can get them to buy 4 99-cent items at one time, though. How? Put them all in the bag at the same time and call it something. And now they'll buy 4 of them, even though they probably would have just bought a nugget and a fry, unless I tell them it's all packaged together, and then they'll buy 4. And I said, man, because consumerism 101 is that people want structure. They want structure. They want it to be efficient. They want it to be easy. And so for me, we created a program called a buyback program, and we put our 4 items in the bag. I found a lender that could do bond loans, like deal with resources and low income folks like me. A builder, my pastor, who could build the homes and we could make them affordable with the build costs. I found someone who could do credit repair, who can automatically, get you in a credit repair system and repair that for you. And then somebody who could do financial literacy, who could help you be able to sustain home ownership. That was our 4. That was our nugget, fry, drink, and burp. And there it is. One-stop shop. When we did that, I launched a program. So here I am to B4's point. Let me say how on point he was. When we first launched the program, I did it over a 3-day period. I got 144 clients in 3 days, but had never sold a house before. So I had a CRM system with 144 people in it, even though I had never closed on the house. And then to his point, that next 2 years was all from those folks that started like that. And then that's how we kept going. So he's spot on.
Wow.
And it's just solving the problem. That's all entrepreneurship is it's solving the problem. The dude who created the paperclip is a billionaire. You know that? A billionaire, because he dropped some papers one day and said, dang, I wish I could have clipped that. And was smart enough to create a paperclip. He just solved the problem that everybody already has.
Right. Man, well said, man. I'm coming to you next, B4, because I mean I want you to explain to them exactly what what you're involved in, man. But I think a lot of and I'll let you explain this. A lot of what you have going on for yourself, man, is involved heavily in the community and also, your background. So I'll let you touch base on that, man.
All right. So I'm actually one that has my hand in a whole lot of pots. And at times I can honestly say it might be too many. I think it's like a gift and a curse being a jack of all trades, because I'm good at too much stuff. I feel like good at a lot of things, but rarely great at any of them, if that makes sense. But I'm just kind of good across the board at a lot of different things. And that really stretches everywhere from sports to the youth to a mechanic, an electrician. You know what I'm saying? You name it. You know, I can eyeball an account and I can tell somebody exactly how to grow their money and all that. And then somebody could pull up and I can hear a sound in their car and I can go get a wrench and I know how to fix it. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of like that's just one of those things, bro. Like it's a good thing to have, but I hate it sometimes. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
So like, but as far as what I have going on, like on the business side of things, you know, I have members only podcast. It's a podcast that I started that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And it's just you know what I'm saying, I do touch on a lot of topics kind of like Eddie does, but I like to focus, like obviously I focus on the sports side of it because that's what I feel like I know better than I know anything else.
Right.
So always gonna have sports involved, but I also try to touch on like growing up topics, like a conversation that I feel like men need to have that oftentimes we don't. And I'm not really speaking on men as a whole, primarily on African American men, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of things we don't really speak on. And I just try to tie sports and real life together. That's something that I just wanted to do for a minute. Something I done. And I'm in like season 3 right now with my podcast, actually. So that's one thing. Another thing is I have Ford Logistics Incorporated is a business that I actually registered through the Secretary of State in 2018, right?
Okay.
In 2018, had it for a while. I done that. A lot of that was like trial and error though. So like,
True.
you know, unlike bro who started his joint, I feel like he jumped into something that he could kind of tie his skills that he already had naturally, kind of tied into it, like the hustler mentality and sales, really kind of tying it together to do something that he was passionate about, which was creating like affordable homes in his community for people like us who, even like myself, who kind of feel like you may never own a home. You know what I'm saying? But he creating those opportunities for people who might feel that way. So he was able to take what he loved doing and he was passionate about and was able to tie it together into something. And then in my case, it was more so starting something that I felt like I could make money off of, which initially it wasn't something that I was passionate about. If I'm gonna be completely honest, it just was something that I felt like I could make some bread on. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this is gonna be easy flip, whatever. And really, true story. When I started my logistics company, which was like I done cargo vans, so like that's what I done. Like I didn't have like big rigs or nothing like that.
Right.
I had cargo vans, so I started out with one, and what it was is it's expedited freight. So basically, companies pay you extra to get something to them overnight. The UPS might say or FedEx might say it's gonna take 7 days. I might pick up something in Charlotte and gotta have it in Texas by tomorrow night, type situation. Like, and that's like a true story. Might pick up something in Charlotte at 9 p.m. Houston, Texas want it by tomorrow night. You know what I'm saying? At 11 p.m. That's a tight squeeze, but they willing to pay the extra to get it to them in that, you know what I'm saying, in that time frame. So that's what I started out doing. But the true story is when I started this, bro, I didn't even have a license. Nobody don't even know that. That's what made it tough because what happened was I actually lost my license because when I first moved to the city that I'm in now, I got harassed so much and I got pulled over so much for nothing to the point where I had like 25 citations, and I ain't even exaggerating. And they
you talked about that.
They were stressed out between like a couple counties, so I would get confused on where I had to go to court. Long story short, I had court in one county and I was in another county, and I had them mixed up, and I missed court. So when I missed court, my license got suspended. So like, it just was like, it got suspended, then I pay it, then it got suspended again. Like I was just I got behind the 8 ball, you know what I'm saying? Like on all these court dates, and I just kept paying them, and it gets suspended, and I pay them, and then I just like after so long, I said, F it, you know what I'm saying? I ain't paying no more, basically, like because they kept taking my license anyway. So like I didn't have them, so I started this business, and that's why it was so tough for me because I had a business that was based on driving, and I didn't have a license. So I had to rely on like somebody else to like be the driver and all this other stuff. So I kicked out a whole lot of money, bro, on the front end of this thing. basically relying on somebody else. And y'all two, like y'all two are business owners, and I know y'all know that if nobody not gonna care about it, about the business like you are if it's yours. So
Facts.
so especially if they ain't putting no money in it. So I got the money in it, I got the time in it, I got the passion in it and everything. Which I said initially I wasn't passionate about it, but that came after I put my money in it. Yeah, I'm passionate about it because I want to get my money back, obviously. So I had to rely on somebody else to do it for me. They wasn't on the same page that I was on. So it just was like, it was an uphill battle. So before I even got started, bro, I was already like behind the eight ball, already off the rip. So I done that, but I learned a lot about it. Although it was a business that I struggled with, and I'm not gonna say I struggled because I made a lot of money doing it, but I didn't have nobody that was like guiding me on the way that I should have done things. And that's really like really a testament of everything that I kind of done my whole life, bro. Like everything that I ever done, I had to do it do trial and error. Like I didn't have nobody telling me, look, bro, I already did this. You need to do it this way. Like I had to take my L's to
Took
find
your
out
lumps.
what I needed to do.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of me I wasn't taking the money that I made from the business and you know what I'm saying, putting back into the business or being responsible and taking a certain percentage and paying myself and then taking the other percentage and putting it into an account as basically the money that the business earned. I wasn't doing it like that. I started this thing with my own money and I was living off what I made. So it was like, y'all know, like if you're not making a substantial enough on the front end, then you basically spending what you're making, especially in a business like transportation, not knowing when it's gonna be up and it's gonna be down. Like I'm 1 week I'll make crazy money, and then it's like, and in my mind I'm thinking this is the norm because this is also an industry that I never been in, or I wasn't taught this industry. So I wasn't doing it the right way. I wasn't putting the money to the side as I should have been. I wasn't being a responsible person. And it wasn't that I was intentionally being irresponsible. I think that I just was unaware, really. So I
Right.
just was handling it the wrong way. So I would say it was a business that I would say failed. And the only reason why is because, like I said, I wasn't doing it the right way. And once it came to a point where I did expand though. I ended up buying a second one. So I had two. So once and then I hired a person to drive the first one, and I was making, after I was paying him, I was making like, I was clearing like 20, like 2,000, 2,500 like a week after paying him. So it was cool.
Right.
So but that's like before my expenses or whatever.
Mm.
So then when I got a second one, I just felt like everything was gonna go as it should have went with the second one. And then it just was like, in that industry, man, I had to fly people in to pick it up and then drive. Like it just started being like more, I felt like it was being more of a headache for me. Flying
Yeah.
people in, relying on them. If they don't want to drive, then I didn't make no money. And the only way, back to what I said before, if nobody's gonna care about it like me. So I gotta get out there and drive myself. So mind you, I done took that trip. I done picked up in Charlotte and dropped off half in Dallas and took the other half to Idaho. I done did that, bro. I done drove all over the place. 32-hour, 35-hour runs. And it's just like I said, I had to take my L's on it and really just kind of listening to his story when he was telling about his joint at first. It just kind of bring me back. It took me back to where, when I think about the whole situation, bro, like I should have just tapped into something that was more that I cared about more.
Right.
And then I researched a little bit more, things like that. But those are really the two businesses that I tapped into. But as far as like my career is concerned, like I'm not like a full-time entrepreneur now. Now I do have, I have like a regular job. I'm in finance, like I said before. So like now my job is like member engagement is what it is. So it's a credit union. So all the members we have now, my job now is not only open the accounts, but do follow-ups, but also to look at those accounts that's over 10K and to try to find ways to help these people grow the money that they have. And I also try to bring them outside finances that they have into our institution. So that's kind of like what my job is now. That's what I do like full time. And I mean it's cool. Obviously it is cool, but I do want to tap in. I really, if I could do this full time, that's really what I would do, because that's what I'm passionate about. And like you said, in the community, as far as the community is concerned, I am a Sigma. Part of being a Sigma is you have to be tapped into the community. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like what you do.
Yeah, and
I do. So I'm tapped in with the youth. Like
yeah.
my sons, 2 of my sons go to A.L. Brown High School right now. My oldest son graduated from A.L. Brown last year. So I got 2 that's in high school right now. My daughter, she only in the elementary school. So, but as far as youth, man, I don't really coach, but I train a lot of kids and I educate them. I like try to keep their mind right as far as basketball. Yeah, I play football, but around here it's really like more kids play basketball here. So like I'm just kind of like tapped in on that. But yeah, man, like I'm really into the community, bro. I just be trying to like find my lane. That's like really where I'm at right now. Like I don't feel like I'm really all over the place, but I need to like find like my lane. I want to just kind of get in that lane. I want to stay in that lane, even though I know how to do a lot of different things, but I just want to like to get in one little space, and I want to stay in that space. And that's kind of like where I'm at right now, really.
Yeah. I would say before that's how I heard about you. It was from people like around the Salisbury and Concord and Charlotte area, man. People know you for, working with the kids, training the kids. I'm being quite honest with you. I didn't even know you played basketball. Like, I just knew you, like, people was telling me, man, like, B4, who is this B4 cat? Like, man, this dude, man, he nice. He nice on the field, dog. Like, I didn't even, and I heard you was nice. I heard you was nasty at basketball. I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? But I think, as far as I know, you got a huge following in the community, man. And people like that will always, have worth, have value. You know what I'm saying? Because you've always been tapped into the community ever since I've known. And people know you for that, man. So yeah, man. Keep with this broadcasting, man. This podcasting, dog, because like I said, you're already in season 3, and I'm gonna let everybody know how to contact you on members only podcast.
Oh yeah,
man.
for sure.
Like,
and I definitely might have one of y'all on my joint too. And and bro, what you said, Siege, right? You said
Siege. Yeah,
bro.
Yep,
like, so look, I actually have my NMLS number 2. So like, I got all that stuff, bro. It's just like I said, I got so much stuff. Man, I already passed my life insurance exam. I got my mortgage originator joint. Man, I just got too much stuff, bro. Like I'm telling you, I
felt you when you said that, man. We can wear too many hats. So I'm interested to dive into this a little bit, because that's it is a gift and a curse. It is a gift and a curse.
Man,
we're gonna touch on it.
Yeah.
Hey, Gene, talk to us, man.
What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. I know you the seasoned vet, man. So.
OG.
Man, listen, I've enjoyed listening to the brothers, man. Yeah. Share their journeys and their stories, man, about their businesses, man. So yeah, it's pretty dope, man. I commend y'all brothers, man.
So Gene, I want you got a very interesting, well, I think everybody has their own interesting story, but your journey to becoming a business owner, man, is very interesting. And again, people who know me, they know the episode me and you had, but just expound on that, man, and just tell us how it led to your entrepreneurship, your entrepreneur journey, man.
Sure, man. So first and foremost, man, I started cutting hair like around 10 years old, man. Excuse me, cutting cats in the neighborhood, cousins and, friends. So, of course, through middle school, I started seeing my skills get better and better, cuts get nicer and nicer. But I was an athlete, man. Football and baseball were my 2 main sports. I was nice in basketball, but football and baseball were my main sports. And I really thought that I was on my way, man, to being a professional baseball player, man.
Right.
Got into a little trouble at about 16, hanging with some guys who were breaking into houses, cars, and all that good stuff, man. And, I had nothing to do with any of that, but I happened to be with those guys when they got caught. And so The detective questioned me. Of course, I couldn't tell him nothing because I knew nothing. I wasn't on any of those licks with him. But because this white male officer had the privilege to charge me, that's exactly what he did. So
Right.
he charged me with possession of stolen property, larceny, and accessory after the fact. And so that really kind of changed my life, man. I was in court a lot and missed a lot of days in school and excuse me, and eventually just dropped out, went and got my GED. And I had to make a decision, man. It was like I knew nobody, McDonald's or nobody would hire me because I had a criminal record. And not only did I have a criminal record, it had theft on it.
Right.
And so I had to make a decision, man. It was like, man, I'm either going to go hard out here in these streets or I'm going to do this barber school thing. And so I said, I'm going to try this barber school thing, man. Went to barber school, man. And man, it was no looking back, bro. It was absolutely no looking back, man. I was, I started noticing that I'm making more money than some of these guys who out here on the corner hustling. And not only was I making a lot of money because I was definitely blessed with, getting clientele. I started to have the freedom to start coaching because I wanted to make sure that I help other young men and women not get caught up in the trap that I got caught up in. So I said, I'm gonna do it through coaching and mentoring. And so that's when I started coaching at 18 years old, man. And, from there, man, I just helped a lot of young men and women.
Yeah, for sure. Like you shared that story with me several times. And the one thing that always gets to me is how young you were, man. Like when you started I think I started playing for you when I was, so I had to have been what, 9, 10, maybe 9. And you was 24. I couldn't believe how young.
What you say, man. Eddie? Say that again.
Like when you started coaching me, you was about 24 years old when you started coaching. When you started coaching me, you had been coaching before that.
Yeah, correct, man. And I was young, man, but yeah, and that was the crazy part, man. Like I was 18 and I was coaching guys that I coached a 10 to 12 team, and then I coached a 13 to 16 team, and I'm 18 years old. You know what I mean? But I was extremely passionate about trying to make sure that I help young men and women not fall into what I fell into. And then, I was blessed with this natural leadership thing where even my peers of the same age and even some older actually respect me and allow me to, to lead them in certain situations.
Absolutely.
You ain't gonna lie, that's dope, right?
Bro, like, like a couple things I took from him forward and Siege was like I said, you literally had a guy who was very young coaching. And of course, as a 10-year-old, you're a sponge at that point, right? So you taking up everything. So of course, after practice, he would literally take all these knucklehead kids to his apartment. He cutting everybody's hair for free. He ain't charging nobody. So I'm noticing this, right? I'm like, dang, bro, like we playing a video game in his living room. He ordering pizza for everybody. And one thing I'm noticing, like, dang, yo, like I need to get me a set of clippers, bro. Like, hey, I gotta get me a set. So what did I do? I was like, moms, I need some clippers so I can start charging people $2-3 to get a lot. So I started literally at the bus stop, hitting people hairlines up and stuff like that, charging $2-3. And this is all stuff I learned from this man right here, bro. Like, Gene, tell us how something as simple as because I know for me personally, in our neighborhood on Phillips Ave, but that's where I grew up at. Something as simple as a haircut, like made people feel like they was on top of the world, man. And I feel like I know you told me a couple times, man, like that in itself helped you to start. Tell us about the beauty school the beauty college that you started, man, and of course your barbershops that you own now. How did you get to that point?
Yeah. So first of all, your first part, man. Man, a haircut can just transform people's energy, man. They may walk in one way, and then after they see the transformation, their energy change. You see cats walk out of the shop more confident, have a little bop in their step. You know what I mean? And and they feeling good, and they want to be seen, and they want to see people. You know what I'm saying? When they have a fresh cut, man. But for me, it wasn't just me giving a cut. Excuse me. And I tell my students this, man. Like, I provided top tier customer service. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Because it was a lot of guys around giving nice fades. You can get a dope fade
Right.
off any corner. But what I would offer, man, is top tier customer service. You know, and I had the ability to listen and feel the room and see what they actually needed. Sometimes the client needed to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the client needed, advice. Sometimes the client just needed to sit back and relax for a minute. And for me to be able to, kind of fill the room with my clients and give them top tier customer service, man, it really helped me grow in this industry. And then, of course, I went from, being a barber and being under Ricky Dove, who I give a lot of credit to training me, especially when it came to customer service. Um, I was able to eventually get my own shop. Then at one point I had five.
Right.
And then, started selling them off when I got a shop downtown that was called Gentleman's Court. So I really wanted to focus on that. Um, and then in 2011, I decided, man, I'm going to go ahead and do this barber school thing. Um, I wanted to help people on another level. Sometimes, and I heard you, my brother, you're just trying to find your lane. The crazy thing about that is sometimes they change, man, from season to season. So my
Mm-hmm.
lane was barbering and coaching, and then that changed to, me being a shop owner and now providing opportunity for other barbers to come in and work in the shop. To, okay, now there's another lane that God is calling me to, and that is now opening a barber school and helping people get their barber license. And so, man, I said, man, I'm gonna do that, man. And I was struggling trying to find a location, man. And I was like, I don't want to be in a multicultural area. I want to be in the hood, man. I want to be in the neighborhood where people tend to not have a lot of hope and opportunity. And so it was crazy how this location came up in the
Yeah,
neighborhood, Phillips Avenue, where I grew up at. You know what I'm
man.
saying? And I jumped on it, man, and we went through what we had to go through, man, to get it going. And it's just been amazing, man. We have been a blessing to this community. Not only do we train people um, to get their barber license, but we also provide free haircuts for the community, man. So you talking mothers who have 4 or 5 kids, man, and instead of paying 20-25 a piece, they're coming up here getting free haircuts, man. So we serve our community as well, man. So that's what we've been doing over here at Prestige
Nah, that's dope, man.
Prestige Barber College, man.
I'm even gonna hold you. And I definitely wanna inquire about the school too. My son,
Absolutely.
he like cutting hair too. And I mean I feel like it's always a good thing to have considering I have boys and I was always told like if you're artistic, like if you're good at like drawing and things like that, not saying that you would be a great barber, but it would be easier for you to like tap in if you're
Yep.
already kind of like an artist, like a knock and draw and stuff like that. So like I always thought about it, but barber school always was like the reason why I was always put to the back burner because my wife is a hairdresser. So so the reason why it's been put to the back burner for me is because it was always so expensive, bro. Like it was so expensive, and then like the closest one was like mad far. I had to work, then had to drive there. It just was like always, you know what I'm saying? It was always like
Yeah.
an experience for me, like at the time. But that's definitely something that I would like to look into. Like both of y'all really have like some real good things that like honestly like align with like my vision, especially like how bruh is providing ways for people to like own homes and stuff. That's so major. When I tell you like that's so major, bruh, that's like off the charts major, bruh. Because you know how
Yeah.
many people don't even have like opportunities not only not do they not have some, to be honest with you, there are a lot of opportunities out there that I've I've discovered through research and through rubbing elbows with different people. Like the opportunities are actually there, but
Yeah.
but the mindset and where we from, it's like it ain't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't understand because you're uninformed. Like, there's so many opportunities out there, especially with people doing things like what he's doing. Like, bro, it bring the cost down. Like he said, he already got everything in house. He can try to cut the cost on the total. Like, he ain't trying to get rich off one person. Like, it's so much more to it, bro. And like I've been looking at the market. Like, I've been in finance, bro. So like I gotta know about mortgages and how the rates are fluctuating. I get an email every month telling me what the prime rates are and what they're going for right now. And bro, when I tell you, it's crazy because around the corner, prime example, around the corner from my house, there's a development, and they're new constructions, right? For a 4-bedroom home, it's a $410,000 house. But you can take that same exact complex with that same exact floor plan with the same exact everything. They just picked it up and they moved it into another city, this more of a rural area, not like where I'm at. Same house now, $295 for the same exact house. So that tells me what? Somebody along the line jacked up the price just cause. I mean, that's all it gotta be. Cause I mean, if it's the same exact square footage, the same exact build, the same exact floor plan, the same exact amount of rooms, but you mean to tell me it's $110,000 more, $15,000 more because it's in a different spot? Like, I understand that the ground, you know what I'm saying? I don't really know the ins and outs of where they build and things like that, but I'm pretty sure it ain't cost them $115,000 more per plot to make that same house. So like the fact that what he's doing, bro, it just stands out to me heavily because that's something that we need. We need more people, more families that own homes. Because I listened to a radio. Matter of fact, I listened to the radio yesterday, and they were saying it was like they was talking about owning a home, and the woman who was giving advice, she was like, "My best advice to y'all is put that car back." You know what I'm saying? Don't go get that car. Don't go get this car finance and have this. And you know what I'm saying? Now you got this $40,000 car that you gotta pay for the next 5 to 7 years. Put that car back. Because one thing for sure is if you own a home, you can borrow on your home. You can go and like I said, I'm in finance. So bro, you can go, we doing 90% at home to value for HELOCs. You can go get this line of credit. You can get 90% of what your home is worth, drop right into an account, and you can go use it for whatever you want to use it for. And you can use it for up to 10 years. And then after the 10-year mark, you start paying it back. You can't do that with a car. So it's just the mindset, bro. People want to go get a Benz, bro, and you can't do nothing with it. You can go get a crib. Yeah, your mortgage, like I said, that house I was telling you about, like my realtor sent me some information. That like for that $295,000 house, we talking like she said mortgage is gonna be around the $1,800 mark. So you pay $1,800 a month for your mortgage, but you want to go pay $1,200 for a Hellcat.
Yeah, I think I hear what you're saying, and I think that's why what we're doing is so important, man. Because we're bringing information and opportunity to our community, this demographic that we speak of. Because this demographic, everything that's typically poured into our demographic that we're talking about is typically things that make us consumers and not investors. And the things that we are doing now are making our people or teaching them how to become investors in this community, man. So I commend y'all brothers once again, man, for what y'all doing, man. But that's one of the issues, man, that we don't know. And the information is not brought to us. You know, most of the people who get the information have to go outside our community to get it. And that's why I want to keep pumping things, information, opportunity, hope, all of that into our community, man. So so they can just look up and see it like we do with everything else that's not good in our community. We just look up and we see it.
Right. And that's the main reason why I created this platform, guys, is because part of the reason why before, to answer your question, is because we when I say we, I mean the Black community just don't know. for instance, like kids who CJ, my son is 12. Well, in the white community, you better believe that the average 12-year-old knows about credit, and financial literacy is conversed in that house, in the white household. Maybe not daily, but at some point, financial literacy is definitely talked about in that household. Whereas in the black community, we got so many things we got on our plate. Maybe financial literacy is not talked about often in the black household. So that's one thing that I tried to make prevalent, man. Is man, hey, I want to teach CJ and my sons that are coming up about credit and how to maintain credit and how to be financial literate at an early age. You know, establishing bank accounts for my sons. Right now, I got bank accounts for Trey. He's 2. So, but teaching him, and when he gets of age, he's gonna know, some type of financial literacy. Maybe not. He ain't gonna know about stocks and bonds or whatever the case may be. But when he gets of age, he will know, have some sort of financial literacy, man. But so real quick, Chris, I'm about to come to you because I got a question for you. And this is like I said, I got a poll of questions from people who want to know this stuff. But Gene, Chris, I know you're familiar with Claremont, right? You know what Claremont is over there on Phillips Avenue.
Yeah.
You remember that you remember that Cleaners that was right down the street, right across from Claremont, right down the street from the Top Hill store?
Yeah, that's where it's shop at, right?
That's where it's shop.
Yeah, that's where the school is.
That's where the barber school is.
That's where the school is. Yep. That's where we're training them up at.
I'm piecing it together, thinking like exactly where it's at.
Yeah, bro. When I tell
Yes,
you, it's an amazing sight, man. When you go to that, like, and just to touch on it, Jane, like he literally, people who get out of prison who really can't get jobs, like have an opportunity to go to his school and get their barber license. And you already know before, you know how many hours you got to put in to become a license. Like they literally have the opportunity to go into a beautiful barber school in the middle of the neighborhood. Like they literally walk from Claremont or walk from McPherson Homes or wherever, walk from Tucker Street or Textile, these streets that are surrounding the neighborhood, and they can walk to this school, bro. Like and get premium barber schooling, bro. From one of the best. I admire it, man.
Yeah. And not only just people who come out of prison, man. Like we take people who may not have finished high school,
right?
We take cats. It's kind of crazy, man, because we said, man, we want people to start going as early as they're interested. So we started taking kids in high school, and not only did we start taking kids in high school, I have a couple middle school students who is in our program, and all of this is happening because we own this institution.
Right.
If you look at other barbering institutions, they're not taking them if they don't have a high school diploma or GED. They're not taking them as young as I'm taking them, and all of those things. We're able to do that because we own this institution. So that's why, entrepreneurship is very important, because sometimes, man, you can create the rules and standards, man, that you will allow, man, and you can help people with that, man. So yeah, man, I love it, man. I love it, bro. It's just amazing for me to drive by when I go to my grandma's house, and I pass by the school and I just look over at it, man, and it's like, man, we over there doing our thing, man. So it's exciting, man.
You know what, Chris, I'm finna come to you. But Gene, one question that I had on my poll for you specifically, and this was a question that was posed on our podcast, on our episode.
Okay.
How do you still live in the community, like right now?
Absolutely.
Your school is in the community. You've been like, that's why I know you always gonna be blessed, because you never left the community, bro, which I find amazing. But the question that was posed through me to you is how did you stay there, provide your services, and not have to worry about security or any harm that will come your way? Like,
yeah, man. So first of all, you can be harmed anywhere. I think sometimes when people are in other demographics, they have a false sense of security. So that's first and foremost. Number two, when you take care of a community, man, they take care of you, bro. I
Facts.
remember, one time somebody broke in, and the community immediately identified them, and believe it or not, man, they handled the situation themselves, and it kind of put a message out there, man. So, when you're really taking care of people, man, and you like genuinely taking care of people, and you really show
Right.
love to your community, man, they take care of you, bro, and they really do
Right.
take care of me, man.
Man,
They really do. And
one thing I can say. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, dude.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
One thing I can honestly say about Greensboro, bro, they truly love you, bro. Like people love Gene Blackman, man, and that's the answer to this question. So they asked me this question, you're watching, you know who you are. That's how, because people really love this dude, man. Like, and I'm speaking from the heart. People really love you, man. So I know exactly what you
I,
mean.
I'm grateful for it, man. But and that's why it's important to serve, man. That's why it's important to serve, man.
Facts.
People definitely take care of you when you serve, man.
Siege, I want to
Yes,
come to
sir.
you, bro. I want to come to you because we've talked about your entrepreneur endeavors, but speak to one of the things I want you to speak to, man, is your relationship with God and how that helped you, established, how that helped you along with your establishment in your entrepreneurship.
Yeah, for me, it's principles, man. I don't even got to get super deep. I'll make it simple, because for one, my relationship with God is everything. I mean, He's truly the head of my life, and so I follow godly principles. And let's say we know that love is the guiding commandment. But when you love something, how do you treat it? Like if I truly like, I mean, let's talk about your favorite hat. It gets treated a little different than the other ones. Whoa, crinkle them all up except that one. Let's say your favorite shoe. Now let's say your wife. Now let's say your kids, right? There's a level of love that we got to understand what that truly means and the way Christ loves us. And so now when he gives us gifts, when he gives us visions, when he gives us business, when he gives us these things, now I have to treat it love with a level of excellence. So I
Mm-hmm.
treat my business and the way I do things with a level of excellence. The same way Christ loved the church. He did it with a level of excellence. So excellent, in fact, that I died for it. So extreme in my love for it. That when I'm gone 2,000 years from now, the passion that I had for those that I love will reign even in them to the people that they love. That it'll be the model that's utilized. So I take that and I be like, man, when we say let your yes be a yes and your no be a no, when I say yes to this business, when I say yes to whatever it is that I'm embarking in, I'm saying yes to God. So now I have
Right.
this obligation, this responsibility to treat it with excellence. So for me, that's how they correlate specifically.
Man, we've in past years, over the years, we've had in-depth conversations about that, man. And faith is huge. Without it, everything you do is dead. Not just your works, but everything you do is dead if you don't have faith in God.
Yeah,
So
people can make that cliche, man. Like, nah, man, when you really got faith in God, it's hard. Like faith in I don't know why we make it seem like, oh, I have faith, man. No, man. And when you start talking about faith and you got it for real, your face should be like, man, I got faith, man. Like,
Yeah, cause he gonna
boy,
test it.
man, it's not
He's
this
gonna test
easy thing
it.
because it comes with a side item. It says faith without works
mm-hmm,
is not even faith. It's dead. It never even existed.
mm-hmm,
And you got to think the level of accountability God gives us. He said it could be those who know him to the point where they like, I shouted for you, I pay my tithes and everything, they gonna get to heaven, he gonna say, depart from me, I never even knew you. That's the level of accountability that God expects from us. Where he could say, man, you said my name the whole time you was there, you get in front of my face, and I'm telling you, I never even knew you. So when we talk about faith, when we say it's dead without works, think about the level of aptitude faith actually takes to sit and tell anybody in their face, you're a faithful servant. Yeah, okay. Until you see what that really means. And I have to apply that in business, because even right now, there's ebbs and flows in business, and my company is going through, you know, we've been fortunate, blessed, man, to be a six-figure company our first 3 years in business. And then all of a sudden, we hit life starts life, and you hit ebbs and flows of business. And now it's one thing to say, oh, I believe in you, God. But what can God work with and do if I actually don't start applying applicable practices to my business to fix the issues, to overcome slow seasons? How can he work with that if I'm sitting on my hands? He said, you can have all the faith in the world, but you got to give me something to work with, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So faith is an applied action. So I just want to say that, because sometimes we get caught up in that and think we're gonna sit back and wait on God, and we just looking at each other. He like, make a move. I ain't doing that till you do something.
Right, man. Absolutely. Man, that's one thing that I will say. Like I say, man, we've had several conversations about that. And the one thing that you've always told me was, man, listen, if you're going to do something, just go ahead. Not only do it, man, but you got to put, like you say, full effort into it, bro. Full effort. You can't half step it. And that's the exact message I teach CJ, man, my son, dude. If you're going to do something, first of all, I want you to do it because it's in your best interest to do it. Not because I'm looking, not because I told you to do it. Just go do it because you know it's the right thing to do. And I would never tell you to do something, you know, that doesn't benefit you, or that is wrong.
Can I say this with that? Just
yes,
on
sir.
a business tip for somebody who might be taking notes or might be, you know, really listening to this thing. If I'm not jumping ahead, anything like that, just on is that okay? On a business tip?
Absolutely. 100%. That would be
you know, we got to your point, right? One thing that we have to learn in business is you have to first, like you made a statement earlier. Before was like, you know, I would have really done something that I love doing. I know someone right now that's a multi-million dollar company that owns a logistics company, but doesn't know how to drive a truck. And he'll tell you straight up, he said, man, I don't know how to drive a truck, but I know how to work a calculator. Like, you know what I mean? I understand business acumen. I've never stepped foot behind a truck. I never planned on it. And I say that to say, as entrepreneurs, if you say you love it, then take it out on a date and like court it and all of those things. Speak what you call affirmations. What do I mean by that? The same way you do your lady, your spouse, your husband, the man you going after. You do those things prior to engaging in a long-term relationship with it, right? I mean, we know that. But we got to do that with business. Like, for instance, one of the worst things some businesses can get is an influx of cash. It's the worst thing that can happen for them just to start getting money. Before was making that statement earlier. People don't know how to make money. I had to coach myself and get training on how, and I don't mean how to create revenue. I mean how to receive money. Because, you know, now I got a 15% self-employment tax, and I made $100,000 this year. Oh man, I'm balling, right? My business is doing good. I'm doing well, but I live off of all my money. I commingle all my funds, and then now taxes are coming due, and I owe $15,000 to $20,000 that I don't have because I've been living off of it. So I didn't really make that. And then on top of all that, now I want to buy me a house because, you know, I'm doing good. I finally in position. And now when you come to me and you say, I want to buy a house, and you say, man, I make good money. Don't worry about that part, baby. That's how they talk. Don't worry about that. I make money now. I make money. Okay, cool. And then, but we look at your tax write-offs, and you wrote everything off on your taxes because you wanted to get a return back. Yeah, you wanted to get a return back, and that showed that you made $17,000 for the year. You made nothing. You can't leverage the money you made, and I'm telling you, the most important thing a business can get is access to capital. You have to have the ability, and then on top of that, now when you first getting access to capital, meaning the ability to borrow money from a bank or what have you, lines of credit, different things to grow your business, to influence your business. Before that, you can't even leverage that because you have horrible personal credit. That was never important to you. But who's the guarantor for a single member LLC? You.
The guarantor.
So now we have not courted the business that we hope to make us all these millions of dollars because we don't know, back to my point, how to even make money. You don't have no idea what, and that's okay. But what I'm saying is those are the type of things we have to learn first so that we can then handle. That's why I say I created a CRM before getting the clients, right? Some people would have got the clients and then figure out how to keep all of them. No, I knew how to do that before I got one. You know what I'm saying? And for me, the acumen of business has been my like even this hardest year. Last thing I'll say, I've had probably the hardest year, definitely the hardest year since I started my company. But we sustained. We never missed anything. Why? Because I pay myself salary, and I file taxes as an S corp. And so the fact that I pay myself a reasonable salary, the company was healthy for over during the drought. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back to those godly principles. You know, there will be times of famine, there will be times of plenty. And with what you do in the times of plenty, that prepare you for the times of famine. And then lastly, is being a good employee. Man, I was a great employee. I'm talking about it was an honor for me to work for you because I treated your business like it was mine. Like, and if I was to tell anybody, hey, what if I gave you $40,000 a year? Now, with that $40,000, you have to keep your bills paid, take care of yourself, but you can invest whatever's left into starting your own business. And then once that business is working for you, I'll let you go. Ain't nobody, most people in the world would be like, sign me up. Guess what that's called? Your job.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, you come out going to work. Yeah. Being a good steward of what you have, learning how to be a good employee. I'm telling you, if you think you could be an entrepreneur and you suck at being employed, I promise you're going to fail horribly. It is the hardest thing you're going to ever do in your life. It is going to require more sacrifice and everything. The pressure, the weight, the angst that you feel about going to work where you dread it, you do not want to replace that with the weight and the heaviness of the responsibility on your own business. I promise you, before long, you'll be saying, man, going to work was so much easier. And entrepreneurship is not for everybody. So I don't get into this. Own your own, do your own thing. Man, look, if you can get a good career and you making six figures and don't have the weight that some of us have, like I'm telling you, most people would choose 100,000 working than 100,000 of their own. It might sound better, but the weight that you carry, and I'm just saying that because if it scares you away, it was never for you. That statement either scares 100%. You away or makes you want to embrace it. So I just wanted to get those off before we get anything else. So
I swear to God, you just dropped them jewels on that one, boy. I'm trying to tell you.
100%, man.
Some people just cut to just go to work and go home, bro. And it's okay.
And it's okay. Like, I don't know why our culture gets so caught up in that, man. That is fine.
Why don't you go get your own business, bro? Everybody ain't cut for that, bro.
Everybody ain't for everybody, man. You know, you can, it's just not. Because some people don't know how to manage the time and you can buy your time with business and your family. And man, I'm telling you, so I just want to encourage those folks out there who are looking at entrepreneurship. I just encourage you to do the before stuff now. Like, learn about, I'll say this, ball out. My pastor always says this, it's in the CrossFit he uses, you got to learn how to ball. If you're going to want to be a baller in this entrepreneurship world, find a local banker. It's extremely important. I'm talking about a local banker, someone you can build a relationship with and you can get access to capital. If you have a business and you don't have a local banker, you're already behind the eight ball. Even when you start it up, you open it up, man, I'm not lying. They'll tell you, I order them pizzas. We try to do it like, every other month at least, stuff like that, man. I build a relationship with those bankers. Especially, I ain't talking about like big national banks. I'm talking about find local banks because guess what? The presidents and CEOs live in the same community or county that you do. They might not be on foot, but they definitely somewhere though, brother. They might be on north, but they somewhere though. I got it. So a banker, you find an accountant. I tell people all the time, the first investment that I made as a business owner was an accountant. I still have an accountant to this day. I made sure that as I start getting revenue in, I had enough to pay him. I pay him before I pay myself because paying him keeps me in position to pay myself and my taxes and everything else. So having an accountant, and they will tell you how to move, what's work. I'm telling you, accounts is good. Then a good lawyer or legal representation, and then eventually you want to find good leaders. You know, folks who, and that's where the stage I'm really in now is getting to the point where I can take my hands off. Ultimately, that's what you want. I mean, you might always be the face of the podcast, but you have somebody who controls light, somebody who does equipment. Somebody, I mean, that's the goal. Everybody, you know, Casanet ain't setting up his systems, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're on the walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
And because you have good leadership, I mean, you want people who can lead it the way you do. But I believe that starts with you and the way you are at where you work at. So that's just an acrostic that he uses that I think is great, that I think is a good way to sort of say, all right, let me chat GPT each one of those segments and then see how far down a rabbit hole I can go each one. And then I bet you I'll be ready to start business. So I just want to say that.
Man, well said, man. Well
Great
said.
info. Great info.
Well said, bro. These are some of the things that I do every day at my job, man. I work for a family-owned business, and I've been there for a few years, man, and I love it. They are actually prepping me to own my own, man. I basically, they give me the keys to my own. I general manage a automotive shop, and I do it the way I need to do it within obviously their parameters, right? But you know, the one thing that they allow me to do is the support that they give. Hey, man, look, this is your business. Run it like it's yours. If you need us, we're here. But we're not going to micromanage you because you know what you're doing. We put you in the position because we know what you're doing. We don't need to micromanage you.
And that's why they balling out, because they have good leadership. That's that part of it. Man.
Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. And that thing that you just said right there is exactly where I'm like before they alluded to earlier. Yeah, I do my own production and graphic designing, but I ain't trying to do that all. I'm not trying to do that forever, man. I'm trying to get to a point where I have somebody in charge of these things, man. And I will get there because I'm putting in the work right now to build it to the point where I can get to that point, man. So, dude, lot of great information there, man. Before, tell me what you got coming up, man. I know we got this season coming up. we got this. Oh, for everybody who know me, man, they already know I'm playing semi-pro football. I've been doing that for years. But me and before we share the field, semi-pro, full contact, Gene. By the way, full contact. We in pads, helmet, and everything. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I know we got this season coming up, man. But I know tell the people what you got going on, man. Tell the people where they can find you at too, as far as your members only podcast.
All right, so I have members only podcast. I do have an Instagram on there, and like you said earlier, that's members only, and that's with a Z, members only _podcast. And I just kind of like post clips and stuff like that on there, just kind of like really just kind of give people like insight of like brief conversations or clips or whatever. But where you can find where the podcast is actually housed is on Spotify. I'm on Apple Podcasts, bro. I'm on satellite radio. I'm on iRadio. I'm on Pandora. Bro, really any of those that you look on, I'm on YouTube. I'm on YouTube Music. Bro, I'm on all of those things. So that's really how you can find the podcast. And then me personally, you can just find my personal thing. I mean, _King_4 on Instagram. But as far as what I got coming up, honestly, I've really been trying to be tapped into my job, like my 9 to 5. I've really been trying to tap into that because I feel like I've been bringing a lot of ideas into it that I feel like can really help the institution grow. Not only that, I feel like it can help my personal skills grow, like in finance and like I know like bro was saying, he has really good customer service skills, and like I do too. Like that's kind of like my strength. But just being able to eyeball, I think like C said earlier, he said an entrepreneur really ain't nothing but somebody who just saw the problem that somebody have. So like I'm just good at like finding the problem, just eyeballing the problem kind of like on the fly. Like I can look at an accountancy and see an area of opportunity. I'll say that. I ain't really say a problem. You know what I'm saying? I can find an area of opportunity. And that's kind of like what I've been good at, and I've been doing finance for some years now. But like he said, I have been very interested in having my own business, and I believe that everything he said is 100% facts in terms of the steps that you need to take prior to doing it. And I do feel like he done it the correct way. Both of them have, and then both of them is having a lot of success. Although he had a down year, that definitely by far doesn't define the strength of the business, because I believe a down year is gonna come no
Oh
matter
yeah.
what you're doing. You're gonna have a down year, and then his
Oh
down
yeah.
year, his definition of a down year and my definition is gonna be different. Like I feel like it's in the eye of the beholder anyway. So it might not have been a down year; it just might have been based on how he talks. He has pretty high standards, so it probably was a down year for his standards, but it probably was a good year. Probably would have been a good year
Yeah,
for
he's
mine. You know
doing
what I mean?
everything in excellence.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
Verse.
but one thing that stood out to me the absolute most, what he was saying, bro, is like, bro, the capital is the major key to a business. Don't get me wrong, all those things he said, to having somebody in charge of this and somebody in charge of that, those things are also great because eventually you can take your hands off. But when you really, like he said, when you love it, when you treat that business like your baby, like he treats barber as his baby, like he loves it. He treats, you know what I'm saying, the real estate broker side of it, like they love it. So when you love it, having to put your hands in it doesn't feel like work when you love what you're doing. So like, yeah, he wants to step back probably for the time aspect of it, to have more time and to still generate the revenue without having to do so much. And with the success he's having, I'm right here with you with the weight of it. But the success y'all are having in the platform that y'all have created for y'all businesses, that weight isn't the same weight probably that it was when you started or when you was brainstorming how to get to this point. So y'all are having a lot of success, you know what I'm saying, with that. So I said it to say this: having your hands on it isn't a bad thing at all when you love what you're doing. So like, I think that the capital is most important in my eyes, and that's from my point of view because of the side of it that I've seen. Having to do everything with your own money is a very much more of a beast. But when you have the capital, that you can stay afloat with the capital, and then you can use your time and you can use your mind, and that takes the weight off where you can think clearly to where you can find different avenues to generate more revenue. I feel like that's the key, because the fact that you build a relationship with bankers and you have the capital and you had the ability to leverage, because you understood that, at least for the first year, because like I said, I work at the bank, so like I work commercial, I've done all that. You know that starting a business within that first 12 to 24 months, that the individual is the guarantor. Like you understood that before you walked into it. So understanding that you needed to be at a certain level with your own personal credit in order to, I gotta just last for these 12 months. I gotta stay
Yeah.
afloat for these 12, because then boom, now I can get this capital. So man, he's dropping some real good information, bro, and it stands out to me, bro, because everything he's saying, bro, Eddie, it's facts, bro, and it's facts
Yeah.
because I've been there, bro, and I know that everything he's telling these people what it takes is 100% facts, what it takes, bro, and he ain't just gassing. Like
Nah.
he's telling y'all the truth, and it's telling coming from somebody who has success, how he has, and it's coming from me, somebody who didn't check those boxes, those same boxes that he's telling y'all to check. I didn't check those boxes, and like you said earlier, Eddie, it's because of being unaware. It isn't because just being like, you know what I'm saying, downright negligent. It's just the unaware side of it. So like,
We don't know what we don't know. I say that all the time, and I know we rapping. I just want to say that too. We don't know what we don't know. Man, Gene made such a great point earlier too, like how your vision will shift
yeah,
in different seasons. Man, that is the realest. That's the realest thing. I could have never imagined 5 years ago that I would be doing real estate. And then
Wow.
I couldn't imagine 3 years ago when I started because when I started real estate, it was solely just to do real estate, just to be a real estate agent. I never could imagine a year later I'd be building my first house once I started and getting access to capital and learning how to do that. And so I want to see more of us, minorities, black folks specifically, in at the table and in these rooms, where because millionaires are not using their own money. They're leveraging other people's money. They're leveraging the bank's money. You
That's
know what I'm
absolutely,
saying? I mean, they'll be a fool to
absolutely,
do that. You know, from
absolutely.
whoever you think that's how they're doing it. But we don't even fully know what that means. I think there are a lot of stigmas, a lot of things that are designed to keep us that way. You know, we won't. I used to be so big about tax season. That's about to change everything until my first time being, you know, where I had to pay
Really
taxes. And
making
it's
some
like,
money.
yeah, and then it's like,
Ain't
oh,
fun no
okay,
more.
this is a different thing. And then some folk like, oh, that's crazy. Now I want to be, and I'm like, no, yeah, that mindset has changed, has adjusted now. Because you know, my thoughts are more about, you know, what can I do through the year? How can I step back and be prepared for this moment? And I just realized there's some things that, again, it becomes a little more weighty, but the, you know, high risk, high reward, because everything's a risk anyway. But I
Yep.
just say that to say, man, you know, I love to see our people find ourselves in a position where we can sit at the table and start carving out our own chairs to sit at the
Yeah,
table.
it's crazy.
Absolutely.
It's crazy because I swear, bro, like these conversations with y'all that I feel like I should have had long ago. But
Years
like you
ago,
say,
actually.
bro, better late than never, bro. But like you really dropping like the information that people who like myself or people who haven't been through it yet.
Right.
This is all information that I feel like is gonna be very valuable and it's gonna be key for a lot of people moving forward. People who have interest in being an entrepreneur. But again, like we all said before, y'all, like it's not for everybody. And it doesn't mean that you're less successful or less of an individual because you opted to go to work instead of starting your own business. Like it's
Absolutely.
okay to not be a business owner, bro, because everybody just isn't designed that way. Some people are just designed to go to work and come home, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, but yeah, Eddie, like, bro, like as far as like moving forward, I don't really have a specific endeavor that I'm doing now. I have a few things that I am interested in. I have been very interested in the mortgage side of things, but like he does real estate broker. Like I've been interested in doing like mortgage originator, like being the one like the lending side of it. Like I have been interested in that because I feel like it kind of ties to what I'm doing. And then to go back to what he was saying before about how your vision changes, like it can change with the season. That's a
Oh yeah.
fact. But one thing that doesn't change is the passion that you have for a specific area. You're able to
Correct.
tie your seasons into what you're passionate about. Yes, coaching one season, barbering in a season, but it's still gonna tie into your passion that you have with the youth and the passion that you have with the community because you're using those two avenues to tie it all together. Like that, you're still using those to tie it. Like you said, you put it in a community that there was a need. It wasn't because you're screaming, "Oh, I'm from this hood, I ain't never leaving." Nah, it's like I'm from this neighborhood, I care about it, so I'm gonna provide a service for people that either don't have any other opportunities, or on the other side of the spectrum, people who have endless opportunities, but this is the one that they want to choose. Like you're just providing that opportunity, but you're providing it for the community, you're providing it for the culture, you're providing it for anybody who's interested, and you're going to be passionate about it as you're doing it. And even with the sports coaching, not only are you teaching them how to be good on the field or on the court or whatever sports you're coaching, you're also teaching these people how to be better individuals moving forward. So like, yeah, that changes, but your vision and your passion does not. And the same with Siege, bro. He's tying his love for the community and his ability to want to help people achieve certain things. He's tying that to building affordable homes because he knows how crazy it is, and he's been doing it for a while. And look how and since he started, look how the market has changed, how the market has went up crazy. Like if it wasn't for people like him, look at how many more people would even if he only could provide one affordable home per month, that's still one family
Yeah,
that got a home that didn't have an opportunity to get one, and that's 12 people
absolutely.
that can get one in a year. Out of
Mm-hmm.
365 days, he's providing at least 12 days out of a year for somebody to be happy. So like that's work in itself. So you know what I'm saying? Like I just feel like he's tying his passion to what he's doing anyway, like no matter what. So like, so finding my lane, that's kind of like, I said it to say this, it's kind of like tying it to that.
Right.
Find a way to tie what it is that I'm passionate about. And even if it's more than one lane, like for example, like both of y'all have like kind of like a 2-part, like a 1A, 1B lane, but you still tying it to like your passion, like you're tying it to what you care about. So I feel like once you get to that point, once you reach that plateau, like I feel like that's when everything kind of like it's either gonna level out for you and it's going the storm and that calm. It's you know what I'm saying? It's calm now a little bit. I'm not saying that the work got easy, because it didn't.
Nah, not at all.
It's easier to think about it. It's even in sports. All y'all play sports. Once you learned your job, it was easy to lock in on your job. Then say that the games got easier and the plays got easier to make, but you at least had some direction. It's way harder to make a play when how I'm gonna run a route and I don't know where I'm running to. Like I don't know. Like you know what I'm saying? Like so it's just y'all just kind of like created that platform, bro. And it's like to me, I never met nobody who had it together like that. I ain't saying y'all always had it together, but I'm saying to the preparation aspect of it, bro. Like I never met nobody who just prepared so vividly prior. Most people just jump into it, and that's what I did. Because like you gotta think about it though. That's the way I thought it was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So
and can I add this too? Like for one, I'm a Virgo, right? So you know, I make up the bed before I get in it to this day.
Hey, that's my wife, bro. All day. Bro.
I'm like, man, we gotta get in it anyway.
For real.
But I like what you were saying, and this is a credo that I follow, and it's the 3 P's: purpose, passion, and profit. Right? They don't always have to be different things. Sometimes they're combined, but you have to find those things in and out of every season. What's your passion? What's your purpose? And where's profit? And then people think about streams of income, and I think there's a myth with that. This is just my perspective on that. I think the whole streams of income. I'm gonna own. I don't think that means, to me, that's crazy thinking that you're gonna own a bunch of different businesses. Like, oh, you got to have 7 businesses to have 7 streams of income. To me, that's like backwards thinking. Like I think about, and Gene already was saying it. Sometimes these streams start coming out of capacity that you build with what you have. So like absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like how he can cut a hair and make $20 or whatever that is, right? Train someone, make from there. That's 2 streams of income. You know what I mean? Rent the building out if you want to for or whatever. That's another stream. I'm just using that example for me. Like I'm about to get into logistics. You know, my next move, one of my goals is next year is I'm going to get a few box trucks. But see, right now I'm working on the contract. But I'm like, I'm going to get the contract first before I get the trucks. So that way I'm not running into an issue, because I don't want to get behind the wheel on it at all. And so I'm saying that to say, people talk about these different streams. You can get to those different streams once you start mastering what's in your hands. Moses said, God said, you about to do something amazing. I'm going to use you. How I'm going to do it? What's in your hands? I got a staff. All right, we'll use that. And I believe that's the prime example God gave, because he did everything, every miracle he made, he did it with that, what was in his hands already, the staff. And God used it. And I believe we have certain things in our hands that we can utilize. And in doing that, he'll begin to unveil to us how we can start multiplying. But we got to get out of these quick, fast, in a hurry microwave mindsets that we have, because that is just not how it works.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
very much
100%. I agree 100% on that.
Straight up.
Hey, Gene, what you tell the folks what you got coming up, man? Or not necessarily what you got coming up, or what you already got yourself into, because I know you got
a few things. Yeah, I'll do that, but I do want to say one thing before I do that, man. I want to both guys kind of alluded to it, but I think that it's very important if you're about to get into business, or you're inquiring about getting into a business. If you struggle to manage your personal life, you will probably struggle to manage your business. So it's very important to get on top of management when it comes to your personal life, whether it's credit, family, time, whatever the case may be, you really do have to learn how to manage your personal life. Because a lot of times, man, we think, okay, man, I'm gonna get into this business and it's gonna get me out of my mess. And investing in the business is not gonna get you out of your mess. If you have bad investment habits or bad management habits, you'll carry that over into your business. And then your business will become a burden. So I think it's very, very important. And both brothers said that in different ways, but it's very important, man, to be able to manage your personal life. And sometimes it's okay to slow down. You know, we want things when we want them, but sometimes we need to clean up our personal mess and still inquire and learn and educate ourselves about the business that we want to get into. And then when we get things cleared up, it's okay to jump into that, that investment part of the business. But Prestige Barber College, we're still rocking and rolling, man. Doing violence prevention work here in Greensboro with establishing safe cultures. I work with a coalition of amazing people who's doing violence prevention work here in Greensboro. Enjoying being a father and now enjoying being a husband. Have an amazing wife who really helps me manage things in my personal life and at home now because givers give time, givers give money, givers give their heart, givers give their ear and all of that. So she does a great job of helping me manage and balance everything in terms of my personal life and business, man. So man, everything is everything out here, man.
Hey, come on, man. And you know what? Like I say, salute to the missus, man, Miss Blackman. Is it Kedrian?
Yes, you said it right, man. Most
right?
people mess it up, man.
Come on,
Kedrian.
Come on, don't do the name.
Okay.
Miss Blackman. And I also want to say, before I get off of here, I also want to say, shout out to my wife. Hey, baby, what's going on? Y'all know I got to sleep with my baby. Y'all know that.
Right.
Because I mean, hey, listen, we talk about entrepreneurship. Hey, it's hard to be an entrepreneur when you ain't got a strong woman behind you, man. It's tough. Siege, didn't you celebrate a anniversary?
November. No, it was just my wife's birthday, but we'll be 16 years married in November.
Man, that's dope, bro.
Come on.
Dope.
Hey, come on, man. Hey, I gotta salute. I gotta salute Amber, man. I gotta salute.
We met at Clemson, and we've been. I knew she was gonna be my wife, man. I think I knew, and I think I was right. I was right. So
I think I do.
So shout out to my wife, man. And then again, for the past 3 years now, we do this entrepreneurship thing together. And she's in school right now to become a nurse. So that's my goal right now. Is I say, hey, all I gotta do is keep the boat on the water long enough for her to finish school, and I can retire. So
right on.
Nurses make good money. So
right on, man.
She's the bag right now. I'm just protecting the bag.
Hey, come on, man. Hey, come on.
Yeah,
and last but not least,
I'm 8 years in July, bro.
Oh man, congrats!
Congrats, man.
Hey, shout out to Jess. Shout out to Jess. We're not gonna come on now. We ain't gonna let it go.
Yeah,
man. Okay, that's what's up, man. I salute all y'all wives, man. Love and peace to all y'all families, man. And I really appreciate y'all for joining. Be forward, man. You could alluded throughout the show to these gentlemen that I have here, man. I'm blessed to have them a part of my life for as long as I have, man. And that's why I made part of the reason why I made this platform is to get all of these like-minded guys on the same platform so that we can share our experiences, so that we can share our ups and our downs and circulate this information throughout our community so that we can empower ourselves as Black men to, get this information circulated so that we can inform each other, man. Hey, if another brother don't know something, hey, let's go ahead and talk about this. And the mental aspect of what we go through on a daily basis, I'm not going to get off track. Just stay with me. The mental aspect of what we go through on a daily basis is conversations that we need to have too. We're going to touch on, before I know you really want to touch on that portion of it. But I think conversations like this helps us and motivates us to go back into our households and be held accountable for leading or being leaders in our households. So I take these conversations like this, man, and I'm blessed because now I can go back into my household and implement something that I got from this conversation into my household, man. So I appreciate you guys.
It's always good
Absolutely.
to talk about it, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Siege, let them know real quick where they can find you at on social media.
Yeah. Chris Siege is CEEJ Jefferson. My company is Oak and Ave, so OAKANDAVE, Oak and Ave Property Group.com, and Oak and Ave Impact.org is our nonprofit side. So we got a lot going right now. Free credit repair services we have in place. We got about 8 new builds going up right now. So some really great opportunities, man. We've been able to help folks. We got a couple closing up soon that are getting over $20,000 in down payment and closing cost assistance. I mean, it's game changing. So anyone, we have really great resources. And then on the music tip, we just introduced Status Quo. Me, Reggie Rock,
Yes,
Al Harris, my boy Trap, who was actually peeking in on here earlier. We just dropped, a video most recently, man. So y'all check out Status Quo. But again, man, yeah, that's who I am by day and by night. So
come on, man. Hey, and look, shout out to Reggie Rock, Al Harris, Trap. Hey, man, believe me when I tell you, I'm going to create an episode for y'all.
Say less.
I'm saying that right now because the music thing has been going for years too, man. I know we ain't touched on that.
That's my passion. You know what I'm saying? I get
it is
when you stay balanced with all those things, you can keep moving because sometimes you got to lean on your passion when profit ain't there.
Come on,
sometimes you got to lean on your purpose.
Hey, Ford don't know this part, but yeah, I used to get in the studio a little bit too, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, cut it out, man. Cut it out.
You better have it. Gene, man, did you tell them where they can find you at social media?
No, Gene Blackman on Facebook and Instagram. PrestigeBarberCollege.org is our website information. And Establishing Safe Cultures Facebook page. That's how we rocking out, man, with the violence prevention.
I like it, man.
Already. Anybody got any closing remarks before I close? Ford.
I just said, man, y'all be blessed out there, man. Y'all folks, especially if it's entrepreneur, you take what you can get. You utilize what you have in your hands. Don't think too hard about forward. Have right now faith. What I can do right now, and let God do the rest. But coach yourself, train yourself, learn, unlearn, and relearn whatever that needs to look like. And God bless you.
Yeah.
Well, I think that I'm always big on the mental health side of it anyway. I just think everybody, I mean, it's very important that you take accountability and also think about others. Like, we tend to like jump out the bridge and just say things or not really treat people with the type of care or handle people with the type of care that they need to be handled with, no matter the situation. So I think that everybody just need to kind of like, I know it's cliche, but kind of like be kind to others, treat other people with the level of respect that they deserve.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And no matter what the situation is, I think you just don't need to hold grudges, things like that. And then just kind of get back to what Siege was saying, man. I'm not super in depth with with the religious side of it, but I'm still learning it. So like
we all are.
You know what I'm saying? I just think you need to like lean on your faith in a lot of situations, which I've been trying to like take that advice really from my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I haven't really been in those situations. I haven't really leaned on faith in the past. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I just think that's a big thing. But also what he said earlier, if you're not putting in the work, man, like, you know what I'm saying, the faith situation is kind of pointless. You know what I mean? Like, we kind of come from like our grandparents and stuff, just kind of like really, I felt like growing up, they really leaned on just the faith side of it, you know what I'm saying? And just sit back, do nothing, rely on faith. And that's the reason why I kind of like stepped to the side from it at an early age, because I felt like it was like, you know what I mean? Like, not understanding like the work side of it. I just kind of felt like it was pointless to just sit back and do nothing and expect something. So I think that's just the biggest thing. Really lean on the faith, and then he also spoke on researching. Like if you anything you do, not just business. I've been an entrepreneur. I just feel like anything that you kind of like step into, or that you have any intentions on stepping into, and I mean across the board, everything from relationships to jobs to owning the business to anything. I just feel like the research side of it has to be there, and we just gotta stop being kind of naive. Especially with a lot of the things that's going on now, a lot of changes going on, like with the economy, with the world. The research side of it is very important. And what I took from this episode is exactly that. Just kind of listening to their stories, man. Like they jump into situations prepared.
Oh
And
yeah.
I've always only knew how to prepare myself athletically. I know how to prepare in the off season, be ready for the season, or prepare that week for the upcoming game. And I just need to take a step back and apply that same skill set to applying it to like other things. And then he also brought up how if you aren't able to manage your personal life, then he was speaking on business, but I feel like that's across the board. If you're not able to manage that, you're not gonna really be able to manage anything. And I have realized that there's a lot of times when I just feel like I'm just kind of like everything jumbled up. Like I can't really, you know what I'm saying? I can't really like manage because I got too much going on, you know what I'm saying? Like and that just kind of go right back to what he was saying. You just gotta kind of like compartmentalize things and really focus and try to understand what's going on before you can really start moving to make those other situations. And then one last thing, Siege, you know, you talking about box trucks. Like I said, bro, I took the L's, so you ain't gotta take them. So I mean, if you have any questions about any of that,
Thank you.
you said you want to get your contracts first. I didn't do that. So I was fighting to get my contracts while I was doing it, which I understand the process now, but I didn't have contracts before, primarily because, which I know you're very tedious. So I know that you're going to make sure that you're working on those things in the process, because the biggest key factor to it is most of the companies going to require you to have, have your DOT and have all those things in line for 90 days. They're gonna want you to have your like you're gonna be registered through the Department of Transportation. You're gonna have to be registered and have your active insurance and all that. It's gonna have to be for 90 days. About 95% of the companies aren't gonna even touch you or gonna let you take loads or do anything for them until you have showed that you have had an active insurance and an active DOT number and all of that for 90 days. So essentially, anybody who starts transportation gonna have to have enough capital and enough built up money to be able to withstand 3 months of basically taking scraps, taking the worst loads, the lowest pay, all that, being able to stay afloat for 90 days. As soon as you hit that 91-day mark, then now you are officially able to go work for get contracts with anybody else. So that's the main thing, to make sure that you're ready to stay afloat for 90 days. And on that 91st day, then you can get all the contracts that you desire. But I know within that time frame, you're going to be working on those. So, because I know you from just this conversation, you're going to build that pipeline for them 90 days. And then when that 91st day hit, boom, you're going to have options on what contract you want to take. So just make sure you keep that in mind and understand that even with everything else you do, if you don't have that, if you're not registered, if you're not settled for 90 days through the Department of Transportation, it doesn't matter how many things you have in line, nobody's going to touch you. So that's one thing that I want to tell you before we got off here, for sure.
I appreciate that so much, man. That's what it's about. Sharing information. Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
Gene.
Yes, sir. 2 quick things, man. One, if you're interested in a storefront business, please keep in mind whatever spot you're going to rent or purchase, please make sure it's zoned for the business that you're getting into. A lot of times we do things backwards. We rent the building and then we go to zoning later, and sometimes we find out then that we wasted money because that place is not zoned for the business we're into. So please make sure you check zoning first before you purchase or rent any buildings, man, for your business. Also, man, I think that when it comes to business, we have to be very, very important of regulating our emotions. A lot of times, it's easy to get mad because, you get some no's, or, you start acting funny because somebody's not supporting you that you think should support you. It's very important to manage or regulate your emotions, man, because, God is going to, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, God is going to always have the right people there to support you. And so you just can't get mad at the no's and all those other things, man. You really have to regulate your emotions when you're a business owner. But that's pretty much it, man. I love y'all. I learned from you all. Thank y'all so much, man. And I'm honored to be here with you, man.
Love y'all, fellas. Thank y'all, man.
For sure.
Man,
I definitely want to get with y'all though, like for sure.
Oh yeah. We about to lock in, bro.
Yeah,
we about to lock in.
Stay in the backstage.
Right.
My family's still in the borough. My mom owns a daycare off Holden, man. So I'm
okay.
The next time I'm there, we linking for sure.
I'm each other. We in like the Cannabis Concord area.
Okay.
Got you.
Got
you. So yeah, man, we gonna meet up in Charlotte or something, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we here.
Yeah.
Hey, stay in the backstage. I'm gonna do my clothes. Stay in the backstage. We're gonna talk.
All right. Say no more.
Well, there you have it, man. Hey, I want to take this time out to appreciate Brandon Ford, appreciate Gene Blackman, and also appreciate Christopher C. Jefferson, man, for joining me today on this episode. It was a lot of information we gave to y'all, man. A lot of insightful things that each gentleman presented, and man, it's jewels, like they said. There was a lot of jewels that they was presenting, man. So again, I appreciate y'all, man. The one thing that I want to leave y'all with, man, is I got a lot of notes here from a lot of people who wanted this episode, and the one word that I see on here that a lot of people had pertaining to starting their own business was fear, or scared. I'm scared, or I don't know how this will go, or I'm scared to start my own business. As everybody knows, fear, man, that's a word, and that is an action, and that is an emotion that even myself, that prevented me from proceeding forward with my endeavors. So I will say, man, you got to get over that fear, man, of what could happen, or what can't happen, or what might happen, or what might not happen when it starts your business. And if you continue to operate in that emotion, I promise you, you will not start your own business. You will not start your endeavor, whatever that is. It will always prevent you and hold you back from moving into what you're supposed to move into, moving into your season. Again, I'm guilty of that myself. Please do not fall into that. The longer you take to start your business or your endeavor, the worse it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Again, if y'all want to reach out to any of these gentlemen, these are friends of mine that I've been friends for 10 plus years, before 10 plus years. Chris and Gene been knowing me my whole life. I've been knowing Chris. So I know if you reach out to any of these guys on those on their website or their social media platforms that they said in throughout the episode, I'm sure they would have no problem with helping any of y'all, man. So from me to you, I appreciate everything. I appreciate y'all for joining us, man. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, I'm gonna holler at you. Peace.
This is the golden rule.